The soul thus cleansed is all idea and reason, wholly free of body, intellective, entirely of that divine order from which the wellspring of beauty rises, and all rays of beauty. Please continue watching to hear readings of the wisdom of the philosopher Plotinus, vegetarian.
It's proven that we can eat vegan and we can be healthy. There is no longer any need to kill so many animals. We have to stop. We have to stop. It's millions of animals per day. 3 million animals are killed in French slaughterhouses a day. 3 million. 3 million. Mauricio Garcia Pereira, vegetarian.
Bunjatieta means long life to you in Albanian. I am Flamur. The freedom-loving people of Shqiperia, or the land of the eagle, as Albania was originally known, send appreciation to you for choosing the compassionate vegan lifestyle that gives freedom to our animal friends and peace to the world. May divine love and kindness always be in your heart.
Europe's forests are going up in flames.
Blazing fires and scorching droughts.
Look at the numbers out there. These are enormous.
This is one of the hottest places I've ever been, and it is getting hotter. Now that leads to conflict.
Your personal decisions really can have a big impact.
No meat means no heat, no war.
Welcome to Excerpts from the Six Enneads by Plotinus, vegetarian, The Soul's Beauty, Part 1 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Plotinus, vegetarian, was one of the most influential philosophers in antiquity after Plato, vegetarian, and Aristotle, vegetarian. In his philosophy there are three principles: the one, the intellect, and the soul. Historians of the 19th century invented the term Neoplatonism and applied it to Plotinus's philosophy. His metaphysical writings have inspired centuries of Islamic, Jewish, Christian, and Gnostic metaphysicians. The issue of happiness is one of Plotinus's greatest imprints on Western thought, as he was one of the first to introduce the idea that happiness is attainable only within consciousness. From all accounts, his personal and social life exhibited the highest moral and spiritual standards. He disliked talking about his own life, disapproved of animal people meat, and refused medications containing animal people substances. Plotinus's final words were, "Try to raise the divine in yourselves to the divine in the all." Long before his physical departure from this world, the philosopher entrusted two of his closest disciples, Porphyry, vegetarian, and Emilius with the extensive task of collecting, revising, and compiling his writings. Thus, the Six Enneads was published to share Plotinus's precious insights with countless generations. It consists of 54 treatises, varied in length, arranged in 6 sets of 9 Ennead in 3 volumes. The Enneads are sorted by levels of sophistication, starting with the first Ennead, which emphasizes ethical topics.
No meat means peace for all.
Today, we are delighted to present excerpts from the 6th Tractate of the first Ennead, which expounds on how our souls can recognize true beauty. The first Ennead, 6th Tractate, Beauty, Section 6. For, as the ancient teaching was, moral discipline and courage and every virtue, not even expecting wisdom itself, all is purification. Hence, the mysteries with good reason adumbrate the immersion of the unpurified in filth, even in the netherworld, since the unclean loves filth for its very filthiness, and foul of body find their joy in foulness. What else is Sophrosyne? An ideal of excellence of character and soundness of mind, rightly so called, but to take no part in the pleasures of the body, to break away from them as unclean and unworthy of the clean. So too, courage is but being fearless of the death, which is but the parting of the soul from the body, an event which no one can dread, whose delight is to be his unmingled self. And magnanimity, the virtue of being great of mind and heart, is but disregard for the lure of things here. And wisdom is but the act of the intellectual principle, withdrawn from the lower places and leading the soul to the above. The soul, thus cleansed, is all idea and reason, wholly free of body, intellective, entirely of that divine order from which the wellspring of beauty rises and all the race of beauty. Hence, the soul, heightened to the intellectual principle, is beautiful to all its power. For intellection and all that proceeds from intellection are the soul's beauty, a graciousness native to it and not foreign, for only with these is it truly soul. And it is just to say that in the soul's becoming a good and beautiful thing, it is becoming like to God, for from the divine comes all the beauty and all the good in beings. We may even say that beauty is the authentic existence, and ugliness is the principle contrary to existence. And the ugly is also the primal evil. Therefore, its contrary is at once good and beautiful, or is good and beauty, and hence the one method will discover to us the beauty good and the ugliness evil. And beauty, this beauty, which is also the good, must be posed as the first. Directly deriving from this first is the intellectual principle, which is preeminently the manifestation of beauty. Through the intellectual principle, soul is beautiful. The beauty in things of a lower order actions and pursuits, for instance, comes by operation of the shaping soul, which is also the author of the beauty found in the world of sense. For the soul, a divine thing, a fragment, as it were, of the primal beauty, makes beautiful to the fullness of their capacity all things whatsoever that it grasps and molds.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. Korea is one of them. Korea Animal Protection Act. The preamble to the Act states, the purpose of this Act is to contribute to the cultivation of aesthetic sentiments, such as the respect for life, etc., through protecting the life and safety of animals by prescribing matters necessary for proper protection and administration of animals, such as the prevention of cruelty to animals, etc. Korean law states that animal people caregivers must properly feed, house, and care for their animal companions. Animal person cruelty and abandonment are prohibited. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lab test, or for any reason at all. Be vegan. Make peace. So be it.
Section 7. Therefore we must ascend again towards the good, the desired of every soul. Anyone that has seen this knows what I intend when I say that it is beautiful. Even the desire of it is to be desired as a good. To attain it is for those that will take the upward path, who will set all their forces towards it, who will divest themselves of all that we have put on in our descent. So, to those that approach the holy celebrations of the mysteries, there are appointed purifications, and the laying aside of the garments worn before, and the entry in nakedness, until passing on the upward way, all that is other than the God, each in the solitude of himself, shall behold that solitary dwelling existence, the apart, the unmingled, the pure, that from which all things depend, for which all look and live and act and know, the source of life and of intellection and of being. And one that shall know this vision, with what passion of love shall he not be seized, with that pang of desire, what longing to be molten into one with this, what wondering delight, if he that has never seen this being must hunger for it, as for all his welfare, he that has known must love and reverence it as the very beauty. He will be flooded with awe and gladness, stricken by a salutary terror. He loves with a veritable love, with sharp desire. All other loves than this he must despise and disdain, all that once seemed fair. This indeed is the mood even of those who, having witnessed the manifestation of gods or supernals, can never again feel the old delight in the comeliness of material forms. What then are we to think of one that contemplates absolute beauty in its essential integrity, no accumulation of flesh and matter, no dweller on earth or in the heavens, so perfect its purity, far above all such things, in that they are non-essential, composite, not primal, but descending from this? Beholding this being, the choragus of all existence, the self-intent that ever gives forth and never takes, resting, wrapped in the vision and possession of so lofty a loveliness, growing to its likeness, what beauty can the soul yet lack? For this, the beauty supreme, the absolute, and the primal fashions its lovers to beauty and makes them also worthy of love. And for this, The sternest and the uttermost combat is set before the souls. All our labor is for this, lest we be left without part in this noblest vision, which is to attain, is to be blessed in the blissful sight, which to fail of is to fail utterly. For not he that has failed of the joy that is in the color or invisible forms, not he that has failed of power or of honors or of kingdom has failed, but only he that has failed of only this, for whose winning he should renounce kingdoms and command over earth and ocean and sky, if only spurning the world of sense from beneath his feet and straining to this he may see. Let us continue with the sixth tractate of the first Ennead, which explains how we can find the soul's primal beauty. The first Ennead, sixth tractate, Beauty, section 8. What must we do? How lies the path? How come to vision of the inaccessible beauty, dwelling as if in consecrated precincts, apart from the common ways where all may see, even the profane? He that has the strength, let him arise and withdraw into himself, foregoing all that is known by the eyes, turning away forever from the material beauty that once made his joy. When he perceives those shapes of grace that show in body, let him not pursue. He must know them for copies, vestiges, shadows, and hasten away towards that they tell of. For if anyone follow what is like a beautiful shape playing over water, is there not a myth telling in symbol of such a dupe, how he sank into the depths of the current and was swept away to nothingness? So too, one that is held by material beauty and will not break free shall be precipitated, not in body but in soul, down to the dark depths, loathed of the intellective being, where, blind even in the lower world, he shall have commerce only with shadows, there as here. Let us flee then to the beloved fatherland. This is the soundest counsel. But what is this flight? How are we to gain the open sea? For Odysseus is surely a parable to us, when he commands the flight from the sorceries of Circe of Calypso, not content to linger for all the pleasure offered to his eyes and all the delight of sense filling his days. The fatherland to us is there whence we have come, and there is the Father. What then is our course? What the manner of our flight? This is not a journey for the feet. The feet bring us only from land to land, nor need you think of coach or ship to carry you away. All this order of things you must set aside and refuse to see. You must close the eyes and call instead upon another vision, which is to be waked within you, a vision, the birthright of all, which few turn to use.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. Lithuania is one of them. Lithuania, law on the care, keeping, and use of animals. Cruel treatment and torture of animal people or any direct or indirect instigation of violence against animal persons is prohibited. Examples include deliberately making animal folk stray or homeless, failing to provide veterinary assistance where needed, staging animal individual fights, and providing insufficient amounts of food or water. Sanctions including taking the animal person away from the violator and/or administrative and criminal liability. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lab test, or for any reason at all. Be vegan. Make peace. So be it.
Section 9. And this inner vision, what is its operation? Newly awakened, it is all too feeble to bear the ultimate splendor. Therefore, the soul must be trained to the habit of remarking, to observe or take notice of, first, all noble pursuits, then the works of beauty produced not by the labor of the arts, but by the virtue of men known for their goodness. Lastly, you must search the souls of those that have shaped these beautiful forms. But how are you to see into a virtuous soul and know its loveliness? Withdraw into yourself and look, and if you do not find yourself beautiful yet, act as does the creator of a statue that is to be made beautiful. He cuts away here, he smooths there, he makes this line lighter, this other purer, until a lovely face has grown upon his work. So do you also. Cut away all that is excessive, straighten all that is crooked, bring light to all that is overcast, labor to make all one glow of beauty, and never cease chiseling your statue, until there shall shine out on you from it the godlike splendor of virtue, until you shall see the perfect goodness surely established in the stainless shrine. When you know that you have become this perfect work, when you are self-gathered in the purity of your being, nothing now remaining that can shatter that inner unity, nothing from without clinging to the authentic man, when you find yourself wholly true to your essential nature, wholly that only veritable light, which is not measured by space, not narrowed to any circumscribed form, nor again diffused as a thing void of term, but ever unmeasurable as something greater than all measure and more than all quantity, when you perceive that you have grown to this, you are now become very vision. Now call up all your confidence. Strike forward yet a step. You need a guide no longer. Strain and see. This is the only eye that sees the mighty beauty. If the eye that adventures the vision be dimmed by vice, impure or weak, and unable in its cowardly blenching to retreat in fear, to see the uttermost brightness, then it sees nothing, even though another point of what lies plain to sight before it. To any vision must be brought an eye adapted to what is to be seen and having some likeness to it. Never did eye see the sun unless it had first become sun-like, and never can the soul have vision of the first beauty unless itself be beautiful. Therefore, first let each become godlike and each beautiful who cares to see God and beauty. So, mounting the soul will come first to the intellectual principle and survey all the beautiful ideas in the Supreme, and will avow that this is beauty, that the ideas are beauty. For by their efficacy comes all beauty else, but the offspring and essence of the intellectual being. What is beyond the intellectual principle we affirm to be the nature of good radiating beauty before it, so that treating the intellectual cosmos as one, the first is the beautiful. If we make distinction there, the realm of ideas constitutes the beauty of the intellectual sphere, and the good which lies beyond is the fountain at once and principle of beauty. The primal good and the primal beauty have the one dwelling place, and thus always beauty's seat is there. For more information, please visit Internet Sacred Text Archive, sacred-texts.com.
Man can live perfectly well without meat of any kind, and not only live as well, but far better. Hereward Carrington, vegetarian.
Bright viewers, thank you for watching today's Words of Wisdom. Coming up next is For Art and Love, the life of legendary soprano Maria Callas, part 1 of 2. right after noteworthy news. May the teachings of the enlightened masters illuminate your spiritual path.
Warmongers belong to hell, not to our civilized world.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds. Hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.